StreamYard and the fact that it is now cooperating. So, welcome to today's podcast, Stu. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Oh, good. So,
So, by the way, you
what's
want to
new?
know what I do now that I am the producer of this podcast? I- Is I read the email that I received from you in your newsletter,
Okay.
and I now am prepared for a topic to discuss on the upcoming podcast.
Okay.
Which, by the way, I would suggest people do that. Read the article before the podcast, and we might just talk about it in a little
Well,
more in depth. I
there you
really like
go.
this one though. This was a really good one just because you're right. You're so right about
Well, what
how you get the information to people. And it's a story.
uh
When people ask you a question, they're looking for an answer. Let me tell you a story. I love doing that.
Especially if it's an old man story.
Yeah, when I was like you way back when, young whippersnapper, this is what I used to do.
There you go. So, one of the things that you can do to tell a story is to put your stories into your book. And that's the thing that makes everything. So if you like the ageless athlete, I know you tell stories in there about why you wrote the book. And
Yeah.
then your never quit mindset is, stories that teach people how to have an amazing mindset and all that good stuff. And so I think that's, and I tell a lot of stories inside of Copywriting Secrets. And we've talked in the past about how to separate yourself from all the AI slop that's out there because there's a lot, and it's getting more and more prevalent. Like
Yeah.
you can tell. And so whether you're writing a book, whether you're doing a blog post, whether you're doing what we're doing here, you really need to lean into the whole story thing. And one of the ways to get a story out of you is to ask questions, is to have somebody interview you.
Hmm.
And that's also, by the way, one of the best ways to get the content out of yourself to write a book. So, we are going to talk a lot about this next Tuesday in the masterclass when we're going to talk about how to outline a book, how to start that process. I will give you a heads up that in about 3 weeks, we're going to be doing a workshop, um, a very intensive 3 day workshop, well, 3 afternoons. And I don't want to, maybe intensive is, but it's very complete. And if you've ever thought about writing a book or you want to write your next book, but you think it's going to take you a ton of time to plan it all out and to lay the foundation and to figure out your audience and your outline and all the things that go into that, we're going to be able to help you do that in 3 afternoons. So no matter how you choose to write it,
That's
you'll
big.
have you'll have your audience done, you'll have it outlined, you'll have your title, you'll have your cover,
Mm.
you'll have your Amazon descript, whole bunch of different stuff. You'll have the offer for the book ready, and you'll even be planning out the whole business around the book, all of that. So it's gonna be pretty cool.
Jim, you know what I like about that process is that every sticking point that people have, including myself, when writing a book, you are showing them how to maneuver through, right? Because can't tell you how many ideas I have for a book, but I just can't get that outline down. Or I can get the outline down, but then I can't just get started.
Right.
And and then I mean the whole book cover now is like a no-brainer. I get the book cover done before the book's even, on paper now.
Yeah.
In fact, I just did that this week. I updated a new book and used some of your wizards as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
good
It's
stuff.
it's 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 it works.
Yeah.
Um so One of the things that I thought would be fun for us to do today is show, and this is a Genie that all the elite members have access to. This is the basically, if you think about anything that you would want to do, whether it's a podcast or getting information out of somebody, you can get it out of them or get it out of yourself with a series of questions. I mean, this is how when we did our 3-hour Kindle book method years ago, it was basically doing an interview. You could interview yourself, somebody else could
Hmm.
interview you. You took the transcript, edited up just a little bit, and then that was your Kindle book. That still works. However, with tools and other things we have, like the rewrite, recycle, repurpose Genie, that can take spoken word and make it read like the written word, which is a little less jarring for people. But at the core of any process of pulling information out of somebody's head is being able to ask the right questions in the right order in order to get them to give it to you. And so that's something you could either spend hours figuring out yourself, or Stu,
Genie for that.
that's there's a Genie for that. So do you have a book that you are thinking about writing?
Um, yes, and I have not put any of it on paper yet.
Would Is it an idea that you don't want to share at this point, or could we play around with that a little bit?
We could play around with it. In fact, I did do. I take that back. I did do one thing on paper,
Uh-huh.
and I think I just went to. Um, Let me see. Writing projects. Here we go. All right, so I did a little intro to the Sleep, Eat, and Lift book.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna email it to you real quick. I don't know if you can do anything with this or not, but
I can do
uh,
something.
I didn't know if this is just kind of my where I am right now with this book. I have one page written in this
Okay.
book. Okay,
Perfect.
Eh, and
All right.
and I'm gonna send this to you right now. There you go. It is
Okay.
sent. It is in the email webs and getting to you any second now.
All right. Is it? It's some. Yay! There it is. Okay. Sweet. So you kind of wrote the intro. Oh, dude,
Hmm.
this is perfect. All right. Cool. So this is what we're gonna do. We're actually going to come up with interview questions to help do this. All right. And this is a little bit, this is the version one of the Genie that we have. But then I'm going to show you some other stuff that we could do as well. So I'm going to drop what you just sent me into the easy button. All right.
Hmm.
And then sleep, eat, lift, sealed training, the weightlifting guide for hard gainers. Is that the title of it?
No, it is. Yeah, I guess that is it.
Yeah. Wait, I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
wait a
yeah, it's a
minute.
very top line. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. You're supposed to, oh yeah, wow, I picked that up. Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
Help hard gainers gain size and strength through purposeful weight training, strategic eating, and disciplined sleep.
there you go.
Audience, those who struggle to gain muscle and weight. Number one, gain muscle mass and strength effectively. Style of interview. What are you doing? Psychology today.
Um, no, let's go National Geographic.
All right. So now what this is going to do, you've done a little more than the average person, but if you had your meaning, you actually started writing the intro and
Oh,
outlining stuff. But
yeah.
most people, if you can just get real clear on the title, subtitle, what's the focus, audience, result, then it's going to help you come up with interview questions.
Nice.
And let me zoom in a little for you there. So, start off, can you share a little bit about your background, how you became an expert in training nutrition for hard gainers? What personal experiences led you to focus specifically on helping individuals who struggle to gain muscle mass? Who do you believe can benefit most from your insights? In your opinion, what are the most common misconceptions people have about gaining size and strength? So now, can you provide an overview of the fundamental principles behind effective weight training for hard gainers? So I mean, it's pretty much is diving in and asking the questions. So the cool thing is that you can change these however you want.
Yeah.
But then it'll also turn these into interview questions. It'll turn the interview questions into chapter titles so
Yeah.
that you can think that through. And then it will also create probing questions, which basically will drill down on the original questions. Now, in our authority book blueprint and stuff, I have another version of this that's more robust. I also have um, another one where you can take points and questions and stuff that you want to cover, and it'll throw them in and turn them into chapter titles and other stuff like that to help you plan everything out. So, but basically, what this will do is it takes each of those questions above and it turns it into a chapter title.
Huh.
So, chapter one, the journey of transformation, my path to expertise. This is where you talk about your background and other stuff like that. And you can change that, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Um, so, anyway, what this does is it takes this whole process of how would I outline my book, which most people totally freeze because they start thinking like back to high school English class and all this
Mm.
other stuff,
Yep.
as opposed to here's the topic, here's the target, here's what they want to do. Let's come up with a list of questions that's going to help them to get the results that they want. So, how frequently should hard gainers train each muscle group, and what types of exercises do you recommend?
Good.
All right. So
Very
then
good.
you would probably be able to answer that in about 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, perfect.
Come up with a little, and we can even do a demo, but there are probably more chapter titles here than you would need.
Yes.
So you can mix, match, combine, but what you can also do is this comes up with elaboration questions. So the whole game here is to, when you're planning out your book, instead of trying to plan out an outline where you end up with, or a mind map where you end up with this thing that looks like a freaking family tree that started with Charlemagne back in the year 700 AD. Um, you end up with a series of questions that you can confidently answer in order and to a degree of detail that just automatically creates the content that you need for your book. Now, there's a
Nice.
bunch of different ways to do that. We have a ton of tools to help you do that, but in the end, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so we could literally take this. We've got all this stuff now. Why is that? Because I upgraded to Windows Ding Dong. Um, but now we got the original interview questions that we
Right.
talked about. We've got all of those interview questions translated into chapter titles.
Uh,
So we could go through and say yes, yay, nay, nay, yes, yes, yes. I wouldn't necessarily delete them,
no.
um, but I might cross them out. I mean, I'm not making a decision. I might cross them out just so they're, and then ultimately what I'm trying to do is come up with that outline. Then whatever questions I know I'm going to ask, I'm going to look down here and look for elaboration questions that I know would force me to give the details instead of just being surface level.
Right.
Then once I had that done, I would go back through and make sure, I'd go through it again, and then I'd make sure that all of the chapter titles made sense, make whatever tweaks to that. And then I would go through and I would make notes of probably 5 to 10 bullet points that I knew I wanted to cover on each one. I wouldn't write it out. And then do the, I would do an interview.
Mm.
I'd either have Stu interview me or Susan or somebody interview me or do it on a podcast or do some other stuff. And then I would have it transcribed. And then I would use that oral information and I would use one of the genies to turn that into written form, adhering to my writing style and stuff. And that's how I would do it.
Nice.
So one of the things that we're going to teach next Tuesday is what I call the bobsled method. And that takes you through the entire process or an entire process to be able to create a book length publication really quick.
I love it. Hey, can you send that to me?
Yes. Um,
Yeah, that looks good.
all right, here we go. Let me make sure I save it. All right, I have sent it to you.
That was cool. And what was that genie called?
That,
Make sure.
well, it's the book interview genie
Book
version,
interview genie.
book interview genie version 1.0. That
Okay.
is available to all of our elite members. If you want the more advanced versions, then you need to join one of our book challenges. So,
Yeah, that's
um,
awesome.
so anyway, that's just kind of a preview of the kind of stuff we're going to be going over next week. But it's one of those things. One of the things we talked about in the article today is that everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people get hung up on. I don't even know what I would write a book about. Who am I write a book? Why should I write a, all that good stuff. And you don't get to a certain age without having learned some stuff, taught some stuff, especially the kind of people that are paying attention to us.
Yeah.
The people that are watching this and paying attention to us, members of Copying Content, these are not morons. I mean, these are people, speakers, trainers, coaches, professionals, that kind of stuff. You don't make it to this, and they're also not like 18.
Yeah.
You don't make it to this stage without having learned something, been able to solve problems. You've discovered stuff. You got stories to tell. You've got experience and things like that. And I think that that's something that if you've ever taught a class on a topic, then you've got the seed for a book. So if you look back on your hard drive, if you've been blogging, if you've been on podcasts, if you've been teaching classes, if you've been coaching people, doing things with people, you've got the seeds for content for a book. If there are questions that people ask you, like what are some questions that people ask you all the time, Stu? That literally you're like, hey, I wrote a book on that.
Um, I mean, just I got one I get often is like, what do you think the perfect workout is?
The one you frickin' do.
That is it. That's exactly the answer. The one you do consistently.
Right.
That is the perfect workout. And then we can debate about splits and lifting and calisthenics and cardio types and all that stuff. But um, and goals, it really depends. But yeah, a lot of people ask about the best, the best way to do something, the best way to get better at push-ups and pull-ups.
Yeah,
best way to
practice,
run.
practice.
Yeah.
Giving the
You
smart
know,
ass
but
answer is
I would say those are the biggest ones. Um,
okay. So best workout for boom. Best
yeah,
way to blank. Setting goals. Um, what about nutrition?
sure.
Okay. What about supplements?
Yes.
Okay. But I mean that now what you're doing here is you have just by thinking in terms of the questions that people are always asking you, you have come up with main categories of like sections of a book. Okay. If
Yeah.
your goal is blank, and then okay, then we got to look at okay, who's the audience? But I bet you this, and now we're just riffing, and you all are here for the Jim and Stu having coffee and talking. Let's say these are the main categories. Let's say we're 80% of the way there. I mean, is there anything else off the top of your head that like would be a main category for a workout type book, fitness
Swimming.
book?
I
No,
mean,
no, 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 no.
oh,
Oh, okay.
okay.
Specific exercises.
Yeah, techniques,
Okay.
stretching, mobility. I mean,
Okay.
the,
Now we're getting, I'm trying to keep a little tight, higher level, but best
right, I got
workout
you.
for this, goal setting for this, best way to blank, nutrition, supplements, specific exercise techniques. We're pretty much there, right? I mean,
Oh
there's
yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
now, audience, I want to go to Buds. Audience, I'm over 50 and everything hurts.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to the FBI Academy. Okay, I just thought of something here. Okay, testing and standards.
Yeah.
Okay, but okay, now Buds, you want to go to Buds? Wouldn't you have to hit all of these areas?
Yeah.
You're 50 plus and want to be more, wouldn't you have to
Same
hit
thing.
all of these areas?
Same
So
thing.
isn't it funny that it's probably all the same questions, but different or slightly different answers depending on the audience?
Absolutely.
And so if here's the thing, just thinking in terms of if you're like, oh, I don't want to use the AI, I'm just going to do this, or if you're going to let the AI do all the planning for you, which is stupid, because the AI doesn't necessarily know everything, and it's going to give the default answers to anything. Um, but you got to know in your own head if you're teaching from your own depth of knowledge. Look what we just did. We didn't need AI for this. Now AI might, what are some other areas? Now, what I could also do is literally watch this. This is the kind of shit that I do.
Huh.
I'm going to take a picture of this right here. Okay. Now I'm going to go to ChatGPT and I'm going to say, transcribe these handwritten notes into text. Then it's going to take like a half a second to do this, maybe. Yeah, don't know why that's there, but transcribe that. Oh, Lord. What's it doing? It's not cooperating. There we go. Steve's like, the show is dragging now. It's okay. Um, I don't know, it's doing something weird.
What are you trying to do?
All I'm trying to do is have the damn thing transcribe those notes,
Oh,
and somehow the when I upload these,
it transcribes it from a picture?
yeah, but it's not cooperating. I don't know. It's probably down. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on. Um, this is totally
Is that
screwing me
right,
up.
Jim?
Okay, well, I'm going to do something else. Watch this. I'm going
Okay.
to email myself the picture of the damn thing. Or you know what? I'll take a picture right here. Why does things have to not work the way they're supposed to? All
Huh.
right, here we go. Ready?
Smile.
All right, so now, so I grabbed this picture. Everybody's like, Jim, this is boring. It's okay. So I'm going to go to Gemini, AI Studio, and I'm going to tell it transcribe these written notes. I have no idea why. I have no idea why ChatGPT is not working right. But all I do is just tell it, hey,
Oh, look at
all
that.
right, yeah. I mean, here's my stuff. Best workout for that, supplements, middle column, testing standards. Okay, so now I'm going to take this. I'll go over into
Oh.
Genie Chat and I'll tell it, here are the main categories that my friend Stu is thinking about for his book on fitness. What would be some additional main categories we didn't think about? Keep them high level. All right. So now I came up with the first batch and I'm going to now see if it'll make any consider any other suggestions. Now, why do I want to do this instead of saying, hey, I'm thinking about writing a fitness book and just give me the main categories? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because I want to have a hand in the freaking process. Okay. And number
Okay.
two, I want it to be my book and I don't want it to be just the default crap. So, rest and recovery, injury prevention, mindset motivation, lifestyle integration, fitness for special populations, periodization and program design, fitness technology and tools, functional fitness, group training and community, cultural and historical perspectives. I ain't worried about that
Mm-mm.
unless you want to talk about SEAL training where they used to like smear themselves with baby oil and sit outside for an hour every day.
No.
You didn't want to do that? That's not why
No.
you became a SEAL?
It's not.
Herschel Davis told me all about that. Um, Group training and community. Well, I don't know, but I mean, do you see any others here that you think would be important to add to our little list of awesomeness for what you're trying to do? I mean,
I
injury
mean, oh,
prevention.
all. I mean, all of these are very important roles and chapters.
So you think every single one of these needs to go into every single book?
Um. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe not the cultural, historic perspectives, but I'd say there 9 out of 10 of them.
Okay. So do you think any of them fall into the subcategories of what we're doing here?
Yes.
Or do you think that these, what we had over here, what we thought were the main things, were actually subcategories of these over
Yes,
here?
they are.
Okay.
Could definitely put those in that.
Okay. So really, isn't it interesting how what we thought were main categories could actually be considered subcategories, but these other things could be considered subcategories too? Um, Let me ask you this, and we're just talking, okay?
Yeah,
But I'm going to copy this. I'll throw it into a text. All right, we'll throw this over here. So, recovery and rest, injury prevention, mindset motivation, lifestyle integration, fitness for special populations, periodization, fitness technology tools, functional fitness, group training, cultural, historical perspectives. Where's the actual working out happening?
um, I mean, there are some things I obviously don't need all of those in there,
Uh
but
huh.
um, the workout is a bulk of the book, and these are definitely useful topics to discuss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, again, I'm not, um, let me grab this. So if we were going to take this and turn this into kind of an outline, again, if we knew who our book was for, so we got best workout for goal setting, best way to, that probably goes under best workout. Goal
Sure.
setting, nutrition, supplements, specific exercise techniques probably go under that.
Yep.
Or that could be a main one.
Yep.
That goes under that. Then testing standards probably would go under goal setting.
Sure.
All right. Nutrition, supplements. Um, you could probably do rest and nutrition, supplements, sleep. All right.
Nice.
So now watch what we do here. Let's say that we were going to, I'm not going to cut any of these out. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you something here with the Genie chat. I'm going to come back over here to all these questions and stuff that we did.
Okay.
I'm going to copy this. Then I'm going to come into Genie chat and I'm going to do something fun here.
Huh.
Here is a list of the type of questions that I would ask to be able to come up with a book interview or a book length interview. I want you to analyze them and then be ready for further instructions. So I'm going to drop these in. So it's going to analyze them. All right. List of questions, blah, blah, blah. Did some stuff. Okay. So now I'm going to take all of this stuff that we did here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And watch this. Here are the main categories I want to cover in my book interview, as well as some ancillary areas that I want to cover. Help me come up with a list of questions similar to the example that I gave you that I could use to create the content for each area of the book. So now I'm going to drop in this stuff and then I'm going to hit the button. And now what it should do is use the example that I gave it of the types of questions, the flow of the questions, all that stuff, and then use these main categories that we gave it to come up with a list of questions. Okay. So what it did, let's see. So rest and recovery, key components, injury prevention, mindset motivation, lifestyle integration, fitness for special populations, periodization, program design, fitness technology tools, functional fitness, group training, cultural historical perspectives. So it took it took the list of stuff here and did some stuff with it. It did not do a whole lot with this other section. So I'm going to ask it for that individually, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to have to give it more information. Now, this is where this stuff is where we got to tell it who the audience is. So who's the audience for your book? It's for the hard gainers, right?
Yep.
All right. So here's my audience for this book. Hang on. And we're going to come back over here and I'm going to grab the thing you gave me originally. And this doesn't really talk about, okay, here we go. Okay, cool. We're going to give it this. All right.
Hmm.
Now, for the areas below, I need you to give me probing questions that my friend Jim Edwards can ask me in order to get all of the information out that will form the meat of the book. Ready?
Yeah.
Now, this is, I mean, honestly, you probably should be giving it more information. I mean, this, best workout for blank. I mean, you need to give it the list. Best workout for gaining this or doing
Right.
that or other stuff like that. But I just want to see what it comes up with. A lot of times I like to do this the way I think people don't uh, think it through. That's
Yeah,
a
sure.
nice way of saying using it like I envision a lot of people use this, which is just throw crap in and hit the button and hope for the best. But specific exercise, best workout for size gains. What
There you
foundational
go.
workouts do you recommend for hard gainers to maximize muscle growth? Are there specific compound lists you believe are essential? How can one tailor workout routines to ensure both upper and lower body strength is developed? Best ways to optimize training sessions. Goal setting, setting smart goals, measuring progress, testing standards, baseline testing, periodical testing, rest and nutrition, dealing with caloric surplus. In other words, you're eating too much.
Hmm.
Supplements, sleep. So now we're drilling down and getting those questions. So then the last thing, which would probably be the thing that you would do, yeah, we're getting into specific exercise and techniques, but in the end, you would probably do what you do with your books, which is what I know. You're going to lay out specific workouts
Yeah.
people can do over, say, 12 weeks or something, and you'll have 12 weeks of exercises in there. And then there'll be information about each type of exercise, how to overload, how to do more volume, how to do max set, all that stuff
Yeah.
that you can either come up and turn into questions so that you can elicit the information from yourself that way, or you can just do it. Um, but the bottom line is this was
That's good.
another way to arrive at a list of questions that when you get done, we went from that to this. So this would be the baseline stuff that you could
Mm.
ask, okay,
That's awesome.
around the specific stuff. And then all of this up here, which is the extra kind of backgroundy stuff, I'll just call it extra. Now we got all of this, and I could go through or you could go through and pick out what you want to use, pick out what you don't want to use, and then say, okay, now let's do this. You yourself go through and say, hey, what's missing? But I'm going to ask it. Based on this series of questions, can you make any suggestions for where I might be overlapping or being redundant, as well as any glaring areas that might be missing in order to help these individuals with their gains? And I'm going to put a Z on that because we all know what gains are.
That's awesome.
So now I just want to see if the AI will give me any thoughts on where I'm getting redundant, where I need to watch out. Because the thing is, when you start slicing, dicing, mixing, matching, doing all this stuff, you can get top heavy in areas and not realize it until you're in the middle of it. And then also what might be glaring stuff that you're missing out on. Um, so redundancies, goal setting, nutrition, and caloric. See, look at that. Okay, goal setting, measuring progress, training program design, rest and recovery. So that's good looking out, because what you don't
Yeah.
want to do is the key to this whole process is to have that list of questions be mint. It's got to be straight, because what you don't want to do is get into the process and then get hit with a mental speed bump of, oh shit, am I overlap what, and then it's just your all of your momentum is gone. And then this other stuff of what's glaring, hydration, adaptation, nutrition, lifestyle, mental resilience, sustainability, peer support. This all could be like, to me, this sounds like just little notes that might be in the book.
Yeah.
I could even
Sidebar.
see, right, sidebar stuff that's in one of those uh sections that might be gray in the back. So it's like
Right.
you're flipping through and looking, Stu's tips, Stu, we need to come up with a cool, Stu's insights or Stu's.
Yeah. No, that's
Anyway,
good.
but what we have done in a really short period of time is gone from nothing to pretty close to a really cool outline of what we could create our content around. And it's creating that roadmap for the book that is so critical.
Hey,
You what?
now go ahead. Go ahead and finish your
No, I was
thought.
going to
Sorry.
say, the point in all of that though is it's kind of like, yes, you want to go to Key West for spring break. You map it out. You know how you're going to get there. You still have to drive it, but you're going to get there faster and more efficiently than any other thing that you could do.
Nice.
So that's why this creates that grease chute that you're going to shoot down to be able to get this done.
Hey, let's try something real quick. Pull those questions up again, and I want you to pick one question.
Okay.
Anyone.
Pick a question, any question. Okay. Uh, how often should you reassess your strength and fitness levels to stay on track with your goals?
All right, so block it out. I mean, like copy it,
Oh,
and then yeah, copy it.
okay.
Put it in the chat again.
The Genie chat?
Yep.
Okay.
And just say, how would uh,
How would Stu Smith
tactical
answer this
fitness? Yeah, how
question?
would tactical fitness coach Stu Smith answer this question?
How would tactical fitness coach Stu Smith, former Navy SEAL and author of numerous best-selling Amazon books on fitness, answer this question?
Just curious.
So you want me to say just curious?
No, no, no,
Just
no, no, no.
curious.
I'm just wondering how asking for a friend.
All
Yeah.
right. Got this rash. Not sure where it came from. I'm asked. I mean, my friend has this rash. Um, oh, this is interesting. How? Okay, I can't directly quote Stu.
Mhm.
Stu might emphasize a balanced and systematic approach to assessing fitness levels. His response could include the following. Now, this
Yeah.
is interesting. You said, how would Stu answer this question?
Yeah.
Stu might suggest using specific and measurable fitness tests. Listen to the body. Okay. So now did you want it to actually answer it?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Okay.
wanted to see like
Okay.
how it would answer it
Okay.
using
Okay.
my
Now I want you
language
to
model.
channel your inner Stu Smith and actually answer the question in about 300 words as if you were Stu Smith, former Navy SEAL, author of numerous best-selling Amazon books. Okay. So you notice a couple things there, okay? Um, I gave it kind of I gave it a target,
Yeah.
and that's important. This is a nice little tip, okay?
Hmm.
Tell it how much you do or don't want. And don't say a short article, a long article, whatever. You want to give it specific word count is very helpful when dealing with AI.
Hmm.
Okay. When it comes to staying on track your fitness goals, reassessing your strength and fitness levels is absolutely crucial. I recommend conducting a formal assessment every 4 to 6 weeks. This time frame allows you enough time to implement training changes and fully engage with the routine while still being frequent enough to keep you accountable and motivated. During these assessments, focus on measurable metrics relevant to your goals. Max lifts. How's this tracking?
That's good. I'm just wondering if it uses like I have a pretty frequently used quote that I use
Uh-huh.
about assessments, and it is
Uh-huh.
if you're not assessing, you're just guessing.
Okay.
And I was just wondering if it would,
If
tag
it knew that,
if it knew anything that I have said in the past and written about and did on videos.
I think it does, but one of the things that we try to do with our stuff is have it. I'm real big on having it like not steal from people.
Oh,
So it's if you were to say, okay, now watch this. One of the things Steve Smith is well known for is his famous quote of, if you're not assessing, you're just guessing. Now, I want you to take that quote and incorporate that into your answer in 200 words, how Stu Smith would answer the question, which, as a reminder, is okay. So now let's see what it does. And then we're going to have to wrap this up, kids. Hey,
yeah.
was this helpful? Is this kind of seeing this kind of stuff? Is this, I've never really demoed
It's kind of like
this.
our Genie hack show
Yes.
a little
But
bit.
y'all let me know if this is helpful or not. Because this is kind of getting into some mindset stuff. But see how it's shorter. As I often say, if you're not assessing, you're just guessing. Regularly reassessing your strength and fitness levels is essential to stay on track. I recommend conducting formal assessments every 4 to 6 weeks. This time frame allows enough time for your body to adapt. During these assessments, focus on this. Also revisit your goals. So, I mean, that sounds close,
No, that's really good. I was
you
just
know.
curious. Yeah.
And the other thing that you can do This is where it kind of gets fun. Um, but you may or may not have noticed there, Stewie. I added your personal writing style to the rewrite, recycle, repurpose Genie.
Oh,
So if you know what your style is, you could take this article that it wrote and
yeah.
you could ask it to rewrite it in your personal writing style so that
Hmm.
it potentially sounds even more like you. Now you got to dial
Tweak
that
it.
in
Yeah,
and
sure.
tweak it, but that is a way to really take that stuff and make it amazing. So lots of cool stuff coming up. Hope
That's
y'all
neat.
enjoyed this. Looks like people were enjoying this. Paul said he enjoyed it. Dave liked it. Vicky liked it. Uh, Jonathan, I do not know uh, if you can talk to it in Spanish or not. Um, you
Hmm.
could try it, but I have enough trouble with English. So some things that are coming up. Next Tuesday, we're going to be doing our master class, more on how to plan your book and use tools that we have inside of the of copying content. Then also in a couple weeks after that, we're going to be doing our plan your book workshop 3-day intensive. We're going to have a special offer with a nice discount for everybody on that. But it's going to be three solid afternoons of planning your book, no matter how you would choose to write it. Whether you would write it from scratch, you got another thing you want to use, you want to use our tools and stuff. This is how you lay the solid foundation for actually creating an amazing book. So we'll have access to that, or we'll have information about access to that as well. So cool stuff happening this month. And Stu, great job today, man.
Thank you,
Oh,
sir.
hey, something else that's going to be coming too. I have seen the beta. Remember when I talked about you're going to be able to load your books into the platform and be able to call up individual chapters with your
Oh,
frameworks and
yes.
stuff and use them within the Genies. I've seen the beta version of that, and it's coming along really cool. It's going to be pretty
Sweet.
amazing. So imagine you
Sweet.
being able to you'd be able to load your uh, never quit mindset book into the system and be like, hey, you know what, this week I want to really focus in on the frameworks in chapter 5. Well,
Right.
then you'd be able to load chapter 5 into all the different Genies where we have that enabled and be able to create posts and training and video scripts and explainer
Mm.
videos and even whole presentations just on that chapter of the book. It's gonna be
S-
slick.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's the
So
best.
all right, they want to get in shapes. Where should they go, Stu?
StuSmithFitness.com.
.com. And if you're not a Copying Content Elite member yet, you should be. Head on over to copyingcontent.ai and join us. Super cool stuff going on in our universe. Would love for you to be a part of it. Talk to you soon. Bye bye, everybody.